So life is looking for itself to complete itself through you, so that there's no fragmentation, so that you're fully illuminated by the present moment of your full true self, and then there's peace. So we're trying to release the obstructions that leave us feeling fragmented, not good enough, and not worthy. So we're cultivating love, we're cultivating love, we're cultivating love, and now we're going to go into some questions. Did you have one? You're my newbie, and you're my neighbor, my next door neighbor.
Now you're not making yourself clear, but I personally would need a little more clarity on the subject of the connection of the raw food and the spiritual quest.
Great question. The clarity of the raw foods and the spiritual quest. What's interesting is that on one level, you're total and complete. You always have been, you always will be, nothing needs to change. But this body can be used as a superconductor of divine energy. So, you see how if the body is clogged up with heavy metals or mucus, that electricity of that energy of life itself is not going to flow through you. You may want to be able to touch people and just soothe them with your hands, but if you've got a lot of debris, in your system, it just doesn't flow as well. So if you're a healer, you can be a good healer and be totally cooked and never eat a stitch of raw food. But why not maximize our potential on every level, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual? And when we're eating those foods that vibrate that high, what happens is if you are really eating highly vibrational foods, those lower vibrational frequencies of greed and fear and guilt and victimhood, they cannot stick there. If you make a commitment to, I'm going to eat watermelon for 30 days, you're going to see some changes. You're going to be facing some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff is going to come up. Because we use food. We use food to not have to process our internal dialogue. Or we muffle the message coming so that we don't have to hear it. It's like, you're in the wrong relationship, dude. You don't want to hear that because it's like, oh, that's what a mess. You got to move out and sell the cars and God knows what. So you just eat bacon burgers. So you don't have to hear that. But to be true to yourself and just get that message and to really accelerate the authenticity and the relationship with yourself. That as soon as you get that message, you can start making the move. Instead of 2, 3, 4, 10, 15, 20 years later, you're still in a marriage that you knew back then didn't work then, it didn't work now, and it's never going to work. And so food can be one of those areas where you can begin to focus on your life. It's not the one right way, but it is a way. It was a way that was joyful for me, and it's electricity. The vibration.
I wonder if Jesus was to walk here now, or God, or essence of God, and you were to touch his robe, and you're in a lower density, I would speculate you probably overloaded with that energy level, but you're not rising up to
The human nervous system is, as we get into more expanded progressive levels of spirituality, the human nervous system goes through a lot of changes, especially at really higher vibrational levels. So that's one of the things that I think I'm being prepared for myself, is that as this energy continues to expand, God willing, that it will continue to do that, and I allow it, simply allow it, because it knows what it's doing. It's infinite knowledge and power. But this is a slow and steady progress to enhance the function of the brain and the nervous system and get it ready for higher levels of power to flow through, so that the discomfort is minimized. But as those energies expand, the brain and nervous system is going to have to handle a higher capacity, a higher frequency. So for me, I see it as a very rational, slow, and steady path that I'm on to maximize spiritual potential in this lifetime through a living organism. So this organism is an antenna for God light. And for me, I use many words. That's how it works through me, and then I feel on point when I'm speaking the words, and then there are people that are listening to those words, and those words, the words is the flower, but the life energy, the essence is the electricity that makes the flower grow. So it's not really the words, but it's the essence and the energy that's being transmitted here. And then we all go home with what's inside this one here. And then it goes out to these ones here. And we're all creating a field of energy. And you bless me by allowing my time to be a conductor of the divine. Because my intention in my prayer this morning, I would say a prayer, that I would be able to uplift, help people in any way possible. And then I say that prayer, I set that intention, and then I leave it. And then whatever happens, none where we sit or how many people show up or any of that. That's it. So I'm blessed to have a purpose, and this being it here now. So the raw foods is extremely practical. The scenes were on point with the raw foods. Because I'll tell you, I'm on day 16 of a juice fast. Energy is so clear. It's like mind is clear. Heart is, after yesterday, a major lift. After weeks of just, like, my heart felt like it was in its stomach. In my stomach. Because I had to face things that I haven't faced since I was 3 years old. Because when I was 3 years old, I just said, I'm putting a shield over my heart and nobody's getting in. Because I ain't going through this one again. I remember that. Thinking as a little tiny baby. And so then there was just this, I had the vision of this, my whole core was just darkness. My mind was going like a race car all the time, but there was this, my whole core was blackness. I couldn't let anybody in, and I couldn't truly love from my heart. And over the last few weeks, that's changed a lot. And I've been trying to make friends. Like, all my friends are on YouTube, and they're on the other side of the screen. So aside from a few comments here and there, I don't really got too much to worry about. Although I've had my heart broken plenty of times on YouTube. Because people can see me. They're like, I see you. And I'm like, oh no, dummy. I see me too, and I'm doing the best I can. Thanks for pointing out what's so starkly obvious. When I walk on water, then you can say, wow, dude, you're walking on water. And I'll say, that's right, son. Don't you forget it, because I did the work. I did it on camera, so that people could dump their stuff onto me, and that's okay. I'm getting way stronger about it. It's none of my business. I like the people. I got to do more meet and greet, because this is real. The YouTube, but I can dig it though. The last video, it's like I was kind of, oh God, I just went on another rant. It's the rants that everybody seems to love, where I'm just going and going and going, just like this. I'm like, it's because for me, it's like what I say is not that important. But what is important is that I say it. You know, it's not like I'm not your savior. You're your savior. Question. Hi.
More balanced vibrations. I don't like to be too
right.
Out there. It's important that I'm not, because I want to connect.
Yeah.
I want to connect with people, and I don't want to be as my imagination in the book is really, I can have a ball, but I'm not really relating and connecting. And so I'm very mindful of that. So I know that I've read some things about protein and things like that. So what do you do to actually ground and balance out those levels?
What I've done is, yoga and meditation are my grounders, but also that's one of the keys to the slow and steady path of the raw foods, is that learning to be able to hold this type of energy. We go on cooked foods our whole life. We're not used to anything. So that's cool, man. I'll go for a walk, maybe. But as you do this with your higher intention to really be effulgent and grounded. So there were times when I was so radiant, but dude, I couldn't stop to talk to you to save your life. Because I was just so gone. So there is the earthing with the bare feet, and the yoga is extremely beneficial. My room also being buried under the ground and getting a house, that's helped me to have a grounding area. So there's a lot of little things to get grounded, but the protein, my favorite source of protein is bee pollen. Hemp seeds. Animal foods are out of the question for me. Spirulina, off the chart. What's that?
Nuts and seeds as well.
Soaked, activated nuts and seeds. Always soak your sunflower seeds. Every time. People are like, I don't like nuts and seeds. Keep your diet low fat. Oh, are you soaking your nuts and seeds? No. Well, no wonder, ding dong.
Almonds and walnuts and pistachios, you soak those too?
There's a little bit of a difference. The almonds activate. The sesame seeds, the sunflower seeds, the mung beans. Brazil nuts don't necessarily activate. They're more of a fruit. They're a very ancient tree, and Brazil nuts are one of the best. And extremely high in minerals. Yes. Fats, mostly, but also protein. And the walnuts, also. You can soak those. Nuts right off the tree are the best, because they've got all the water. So you can reconstitute them, and make them, and when they're reconstituted, and then you make a nut pate, it's a little more easily digestible because it's the water that allows the fats and minerals and vitamins to be absorbed. But it's particularly important to activate the almonds, the sesame seeds, the flax seeds, and the sesame seeds. Pistachios, not necessarily either. So there's fatty nuts, and then the seeds need to be activated because they have enzyme inhibitors. And what will happen is there will be a leaching of the calcium.
So they can be activated in yogurt?
Yes, with the probiotics. And I love it. Brazil nut cheese.
How long do you soak them?
The nuts are different, but the sesame seeds and the sunflower seeds at least 4 hours, 4 to 6. The almonds 8 to 12. And then you drain the water off, and then you've washed away all the enzyme inhibitors. And now you're ready to absorb the vitamins, minerals, fats, and proteins in those seeds. And if you want to take it to the next level, you can make a nut milk, or you can make the cheeses with the probiotics, or the yogurts. And then when you bring in the probiotics and you break down the fatty acids and the proteins into amino acids, it just absorbs so much better. And then I rarely eat nuts alone. I always eat nuts with greens so that you can balance out. Take a spinach leaf and wrap up your Brazil nuts in there, or just crush up the Brazil nuts and throw them on your salad. Because nuts by themselves, they tend to be way more on the acid side. And if we were living more in nature, see, the only thing is you'd crack open 8 or 12 Brazil nuts and you'd be done. You wouldn't be hungry enough to eat 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 like people do, a whole bag of cashews. Because everything's so convenient, we go and we eat like a whole bag of almonds. And you're just like, oh, I could have them. But if you were peeling them in nature, like imagine if you were eating sunflower seeds in nature, you're a little monkey out there, or just a little human on the ground, just chilling. You'd only eat until you just weren't hungry anymore. You wouldn't eat, you'd be like sick of it. You have to be really motivated to eat nuts and seeds in nature with the shells. You gotta be really motivated. Those little monkeys, they'll work 10, 15, 20 minutes to get a nut open. And then 10, 20 minutes to get the next one open. And so they don't overeat. But we just got them all at the store. We just sitting there in front of the computer eating Brazil nuts. Next thing you know, you look down and half the bag is gone. and you feel like a headachy, and you feel a little like the next day you feel a little fuzzy-headed, it's because you can't digest that much. So awareness while you're eating is important. It's a divine, sacred time. And no matter what it is, even if it's a cheeseburger, you've got to sit there. You've got to turn it into a love note to yourself. It has to be a divine ceremony every single time to live a divine life. You can't have any unconscious eating. You can't have any unconscious anything. And that's the thing. I mean, yeah, it's easy to be conscious when you're doing your hobby. But when it comes time to talk to your wife about the bills, you really don't want to deal with it. But you got to be conscious there too.
So, well, first I just want to thank you because I found your videos about 2 years ago, and I loved it when you were juicing outside, like in front of that camper thing.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
The good old days
Yep.
when I was cool.
And I was like, always wondering, oh, where is he? Like, I wonder where he is. Totally helped me reverse diabetes type 2 in like a year and other stuff. And
Type 2 diabetes reversal right here. Testimony.
I teach it now.
How'd you do that? How'd you reverse diabetes?
Juicy.
Green juice?
Everyday green juice. High raw. And really cutting way back on flours and sugars. And that's what I kind of wanted to ask about because I do eat high raw. If I have an addiction, as many of us do, to flours and sugars. And I get, in it, and then I get out of it, and I get in it, and it's a struggle. And I don't know if you have just, something that I'll take away.
Parasites. Fungus that love the bread.
Yeah.
They have to have it. They have to have that swampy, they can't have the chlorophyll, the oxygen. They just freak out. And they have to have that damp, swampy mucus that's left over behind the flour, the gluten, so they can slide in there, nestle in, and poop in your GI tract. So they're not the problem, their feces is the problem. It's very acidic. And as soon as you start trying to break your habit to gluten, they really get pissed. And they start sending signals to your brain. Eat some flour, eat some flour, eat some flour. To get through the parasites is something that most people don't do. The younger you are, the easier it is.
I just need a week to juice with a group of people, because it's so isolated. Like, I don't have the computer. Like, where's the week I can just go juice and eat raw and not have the temptation to, break it and then I'm back to the track.
It takes a few weeks to get there for real.
Yeah.
And they will scream. But you can do it because you have to want it.
Yeah.
You have to understand it. That there are critters inside of you that are sending signals to your brain. And you think it's you. And it takes a lot of strength because those are the devils that haunt us and plague us.
I know you have DVDs, but can you recommend one specifically for getting us going on raw and to encourage us to stay raw? It seems to me watching DVD, you'd be the one to plug in and get into it.
Yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this one for getting rid of diabetes.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
Yes. First prize.
Awesome.
Did anybody show up yet that watched yesterday's video?
I think I did.
The one with the skinny?
I'm not sure what.
I was sitting on the porch with my shirt off.
Oh,
You
yeah.
saw it? Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, you're doing the second prize. You guys aren't paying attention. That was an epic video.
It was a good hair day.
The
Chest day.
skinny chest, but looking good. I'm ripped. I'm like Bruce Lee of raw foods. I don't care what anyone says. I feel good. I look good. I'm clean. I'm clean. My armpits never smell. My breath. I've had 5 people in the last couple of weeks out of nowhere tell me my breath smells good. This dude was like, your breath smells good. Nobody has that. I'm like, I drink juices. I drink green juice, mint, dill, fennel, aromatic herbs. I eat fruit. Nothing is rotting in my guts.
What juice are you drinking?
Don't forget, Lainey, to remind me. I'm going to answer that. What juicer do I use? I use the Breville and I use the Omega. I use the Omega for the LGB, and I use the Breville for the cucumber, and then I have a citrus juicer as well. But I've been buying my citrus from Whole Foods because it's cheaper than buying a box. Well, maybe not. I just found really cheap boxes of good oranges, but they have the best oranges, and then they have that really cool machine that makes a super high quality juice. And I just buy the $10 for 64. And I'm to the point now where I go to 32 ounces and stop because I'm on a fast. But you know, and I'm just like my stomach's getting smaller as I go. So now 32 ounces. And then if I drink any more than that right now, I don't digest it as well. So I'm trying to keep that fire going. So that ends with that. But the one for the DVD to keep you inspired. Yeah. You know, what is a good one? I think Lose a Pound a Day, my best seller, is a good one. I'll give you a Lose a Pound a Day because, unless I don't have it. And I do. I have one more. This is my neighbor, everyone. She gave me lemons this morning, so that's why she gets that. She gave me lemons for my lemon ginger blast. I woke up, and we have a couple people staying with me, and I'm very generous, and they just raise through whatever they want, so I don't have my planning now, and I hope Brendan and Brian don't see this. But I wake up and I just don't have the lemons, because, you know, and I'm like, whoa, lemon ginger blast with no lemons, it's not going to work here. So I'm over there begging Lainey, please. Anyways, I got some lemons, I got my LGB, I was talking to Lou Corona, I said, Lou, I eat more enzymes than you do, bro. And he's like laughing, and it's true. I take them by the spoonfuls, and enzymes will just activate your brain. I don't promote them that much, but and those enzymes are hot stuff. Great stuff. I just don't want to. I don't want to be a salesman that much. I just keep it like a little bit, just for because it's good, you know. And the probiotics for the culturization. And the make cheese, make Brazil nut cheese. I made it. Did anyone see that one? The spicy cow Brazil nut cheese? Yeah, that stuff. Bang, dude. You put that on some celery, and all those things are going to help you to break that cooked food habit. You know, I mean, the lighter, like the fruits, are the highly vibrational. This is where you're going to get. The problem is that. You know, like with the 80-10-10 thing, people, they eat too much fruit. They don't digest it. These little 115-pound girls are eating like 40 dates. And you're just gonna ferment because you're not out running and lifting and pumping up, and you're not burning those dates off. And what are you gonna happen? You're gonna get skin problems from a raw food diet. And the quality of the fruit, it's imperative. It has to be mineral rich. It has to be ripened up in the last week or 3 days on the tree. And that's when the tree says, and the tree just goes, and it dumps its life right into the fruit. In the last little part, when the seeds are ready, when that tree is ready to release its seeds, it dumps the energy. The alkalinity takes off. The minerals shoot into the fruit. And then what happens when the farmers say, oh, we'll get this to the market so it doesn't go ripe and bad and we lose money. Then you eat it and you're like acid mouth, acid teeth, stripping your body of minerals instead of doing what it's supposed to do, which is vibrating high levels of mineralization that is easily absorbable. It's the minerals in the fruit and the water content of the fruit and the colors of the fruit that make that fruit the highest frequency, highest vibrational food. Oranges are liquid sunlight. You know, especially in juice form. And so if we can get good fruit, that's our food. I use a lot more herbs in the modern world because herbs, they have a different ripening process. They're good as little babies, they're good as medium, and they're good when they're big fat kale leaves to just throw them through the juicer. You wouldn't want to eat those big ass tough kale leaves. But if you throw them in the juicer, you're just going to get nothing because that cellulose is hard to, to digest. We are frugivores. Cherries digesting versus kale digesting. The plant cellulose is for the cows. They have 4 stomachs. That's why I bust out the juicer. That juicer is my 4 cow stomachs. Deer's 4 stomachs, goats. They regurgitate, chew it back up again, and then really extract. We don't have that vigorous extraction for those greens. Tender greens, celery, more easily digestible, cucumbers, herbs, they do digest, chew them well. But it's a way to get a lot of high concentrated nutrition and protein. The greens are full of protein as well. Dandelions and kale, amino acids.
How about not juicing? Just put it in the blender and make it all the fiber.
I think that blending and juicing are fantastic both. It's like, as some people, they want to choose one or the other. I'm like, whoa, what about both? And here's what it is. And I've said this a million times, but you guys don't watch all the videos. Shame on you. But I don't even watch all my own videos. I didn't even watch the video I put up yesterday. I just made it. Oh well, I didn't do it. That I remember. But the blending versus juicing question. Am I still in the shop? Good. Make sure you guys are in the shop. Juicing is therapeutic and it's more expensive, but you get fast results because in the juice you're getting this much: fruits, vegetables, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. In the smoothie you're getting this much. Why? Because you're leaving all the fiber in. So you throw that much in, and the fiber is important, obviously. So to sum it up, the juicing is more expensive and more therapeutic. You're going to get results fast. The blending is more cost effective, easier to clean, obviously, but you don't get that real quick hydration, electrification, because you're still dealing with the fiber. And the peristalsis in the GI tract, 24/7, 365. Imagine going like this, 24/7, 365. Eventually, you're going to realize that you're doing this takes a lot of energy. You're going to notice it real fast, and this is what's going on in your GI tract. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So imagine pulling out the fiber and just doing the juice, and then this thing just kind of slows down. When you're juicing, the peristalsis is like this. You're saving a lot of energy, and the juice just goes right into the stomach, slowly through the small intestine, absorbed. There is fiber in the green juices no matter how much you filter it. I leave quite a bit of it, and that's the reason why I have a bowel movement every day on this juice fast. Because I strain it a little bit, but there's still fiber in the bottom, there's fiber all throughout it, and then the water gets absorbed, goes through my kidneys, and then the fiber just sort of stacks up, and I have a nice little bowel movement every day. So juice fasting is a nice, slow, and steady way to get results. Better skin, more energy, more productivity, just mineralization, helping you with your joints, clearing up your blood, purifying the blood, energizing your brain. And so the smoothies are also very beneficial, but it's just nice to know that you can take breaks from food and save a lot of energy. When I was going through all these challenges, it's like I was so glad to just I was on the juice. And I just saved all that energy for me just to focus on this pain and fear. And I was there with it, So I had more energy to process. And it was really beneficial. And now, I took 3 weeks to do what someone on cheeseburgers would take 10 years of psychotherapy. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I'm an accelerated. Let's get this done. you want to sit around and, just settle for mediocrity, or do you want to be the best you can be? Do you want to see your light shine? Do you want to be your own artwork? Do you want to, you're 100 pounds overweight. Do you want to get that off in a year or 5 years? Anybody out there, I don't think anybody said I'd rather take the 5-year plan. They're like, I'd rather just be 100 pounds lighter in a year from now. So let's just do it. And it's got to be the love. You've got to love yourself. All your unconscious judgments and criticisms against yourself, look at them. Get some help. I resented counselors because they always sided with my parents when I knew I was right and my parents were wrong. Because the parents are paying the bill. So I resented counselors. Well, now I'm cool and I'm getting some help. I need enlightened people. I'm not just your average person that's going to be able to go and just get whatever kind of counseling. I need someone who's on point, love-oriented, let's get this done, dig deep, and get some stuff done in 2 hours. I don't want to come back. Let's get it done in one shot if we can. So I thought you guys knew that. Go ahead.
I love what you're going on. I just have a technical question. The cruciferous family, the kale and spinach and all that beautiful dark greens, they have that chemical compound in them that's supposed to suppress your thyroid, or the activity of your thyroid. What you do with the iodine, and suddenly you're cracking your hypothyroid. So
I'm not really, I just
got an
don't.
angle on that?
Experience and research has led me to believe I just don't put a lot of emphasis on the wood juice. There's a potential if you just drink kale juice for like a month, you might have some kind of imbalance in your body. But no one's going to do that. And so I haven't found anything that proves that to me over all these years of working with people with thyroid issues and just even trying it myself. Now,
Kale, example, you have a weekly every day, or
in a week, I'll probably drink 2, maybe 3 bundles of kale in my lemon ginger blast, and I also do a low glycemic green juice. So in a juice, I'll put, in a 32-ounce jar of juice, I'll put 5, 6, 8 kale leaves. That'll be 2 ounces of kale juice. Yeah, if you're having issues with your thyroid, just get some iodine. Not the crappy kind, but in the dulse or the kelp. Have dulse or kelp a couple times a week and never worry about it. B vitamins, not just B12 is an issue, but all the B vitamins. Go get a little supplement. Who cares? You're talking B6, B3. A lot of people eat too much fruit and they get out of balance and they have B vitamin deficiencies and they start to get numbness and tingling and stuff like that. Eat a little bee thing every day, whatever. If it was the optimum diet, you wouldn't need to do that. Well, it's not the optimum world. We have to be more practical. I used to be like that, we should be walking around barefoot, naked, eating fruit. Well, guess what? We ain't. So I've had to consider other things so that I can be a better teacher, more realistic, and live a happier life myself. What you're saying about people. Like, I can be chilling with everybody. I just found a way. I can be totally raw at a cooked food place and just make it work for me. Skills. I'll just be like, can you bring me a salad with some tomatoes and pickles? It's not organic or whatever. Just take one for the team, and just get some oranges and lemons, and everybody accommodates. A worst case scenario for me, which I haven't done in a long time, is 16 vegetables. Bring me some Olive Garden with my family. Bring me a salad and some steamed broccoli. I'll take one for the team. Everyone's cool, but they're all like, oh man, I really shouldn't be eating this shit, and all this. And I'm like, it's cool, man. I just enjoy it. I'm like eating my salad, and they see this guy's on point. So I inspire them quietly. I never make anyone feel bad about their food. And I try to just inspire people. But everybody's so caught up. It's like an addiction. That's why I make these videos. I've worked for years to break the addiction. And I see the people around me, and it comes back to this self-love and a sense of fullness without food. So really what happens through the water fasting and the juice fasting is that you empty yourself. And Jesus said it himself, at least according to what I believe at this time. Or it is a possibility that Jesus said it, I wasn't there. But I have heard that Jesus said, empty yourself and be filled. You see? Empty yourself of needs, wants, desires, food, neurosis, insanity, madness, chaos. You know, and just empty yourself. Be just broken down. Because we have all these walls we put up. It's called the ego, right? And it's a conditioning. And we're thinking, oh my God, if they knew me, if my husband really knew me, he'd leave me. If my best friend really knew what I think, you know, if I really told my lover what I really want to do, that'd freak them out, you know? You know what I mean? And all these little things, if they knew who you really were, they would never be able to love that. That's bull crap. I know from YouTube, from life living, people want the real you. They want you, all your weakness, all your stupidity, all your ignorance. They want you. They want that soft heart. They want you. So we don't have to hide anymore. And if they don't dig it, that's okay. Find somebody who wants to be with the authentic you. I am sick of it. It takes so much energy, man, to be what you're not. So be lazy. Be lazy and be yourself. Like, do it, man. Can't do this anymore. Can't go around putting up all these walls because it takes so much energy. So just let it go. You know, it's so hard to be ourselves. We just have to do it, and I have to do it. I have to set the example. This is the real me today, more so than any one time we've ever seen it. Dan McDonald. I've been busted down, scared to death. You know, the loss of everything. And it opened my heart. I even went to my ex-wife. We made friends, and I said, wow, I didn't see how wise you were for 15 years. She's wise, intelligent woman, full of understanding. And was I 50? Because of all the resentments. I just looked at me like, oh yeah, right. I've read all these other books, and I have my way of seeing it. It's not enlightened. But when I needed her, she was there, and we made up right in front of my daughter. And I asked my daughters for help, for relationship advice. It turns out they know more about relationships than I do. My ex-wife said it. She said, she's right. She said, Dan, you know less about women than any man I've ever known. And that's true. And why is that? Because I never had any sisters. I never had a mom there to grow up with. So I got a lot to learn. And I had some real stuff in the fan, man. It was like, wake up or lose out, brother. You know? And I chose to wake up as painful as it was. Now my relationship is better than it's ever been. But to be just always deflecting that love from my partner, it's like, how lame is that? You know, like women trying to love me and me not being able to accept it. I'm open to it now. But I'm open to that, to receiving love. I've always been able to sort of give love. Like, I'm a doer. So let me make you food, let me rub your feet, let me fix your car, let me wash your windows. I have so much energy that I can do. You know? So, but I couldn't receive. And that would be hella frustrating. It's got to be an ebb and flow. You know? And things are better than ever now in my relationship with people and in my relationship with my partner. But now the next level is falling in love completely with myself. Really saying, what do I want? What do I love? What do I need? What would make me thrive? And not even considering, you know, because your children are going to benefit if you're in love with life. Your ex-wife is going to benefit. Your partner's going to benefit. Everyone's going to benefit the more in love with your life that you are. So they might have like issues or whatever, like codependency, and like, and you need to go on like a kayaking trip down the coast. You got to go be happy. You got to go on the kayak trip. And as insane as it sounds, you know, if your heart is telling you to do that, you got to do that. And you can't really worry. Someone else's codependency might be their issue that they need to work on. So you might be doing them a favor, but your heart says, go on the kayak trip, dude. Because you've got to go out, like find yourself, be the adventure. I was like Super Dan the man over here by himself, riding, pull ups, and you know, and then the domesticated Dan, and then that was good because I got grounded and I learned some things. I want to be right there in the middle. I want to be Ultra Dan the man freak, dude. Like shirt off, 130 degrees in Death Valley, almost dying out there, going, man, maybe I shouldn't have did this. I made a video like that once, 125 degrees. I never posted it because the booger came out of my nose. And Krista, and I called it the booger video. I said, Krista, can I put up the booger video? She's like, no, can't put the booger video up. It's the best video I ever made. It was so real. I was like, oh, it's so hot out here. You could see sweating, dying. It was at the end of the bike trip to see my mom in Yuma. And then I was just crying, and then the booger came out. And Krista said no. I said, Krista, that was the best video ever. I don't care about the booger. It dried up within like 2 minutes. It was so hot, 125 degrees. The booger dried up and disappeared. But it was there. It was very distracting for about a minute or two. So I never put up the booger video, and I still have that on file. And I look at that and I said, God, I gotta post that one of these days. The booger video. Man, I don't remember what brought that up. There's a lot of those. So where were we? I was gonna have questions, but I just got really into the rap today, and it just was flowing. What a.
So I'm just starting to get into music again. Trying to learn how to do that. When I hear everybody always say, oh, it tastes good, or right worthy, but every time, I'm not gonna lie, I hate that. Every time I train and try to get healthy after music, I feel fit, I'm so good.
Because you've got a lot of debris. And you've got probably fried chicken and donuts. I hit the two on the head, didn't I? Getting your signals. Fried chicken and donuts. I mean, what's that? I was a pizza guy myself. Eggs. Love eggs. But see, all that debris is within you. The minute you start going healthy and start breaking some of that loose, it all goes up into the bloodstream, and then you're like. So you need to if you need to get serious about your health and expand your mind out of where you might have been before, and do crazy stuff like colonics. When you can afford a couple of colonics to really get a bunch of that stuff out of there real quick. But also just understanding that when you feel bad because you're making good choices, you're supposed to start feeling better all of a sudden, right? Because now it's the same thing with the emotions. Like, I'm on raw food, I'm supposed to be emotionally stable now. No, you're breaking free and you're becoming aware of what a mess you are. Just like so as you eat healthy, you're becoming aware of the mess you're in. So you don't feel so good. You drink some juices, eat some raw food, some salads. You don't feel so good because all the debris starts breaking loose. So you need to be able to get through that and see it for what it is. And you've got a good amount of residue in your GI tract, and you want to think about doing whatever you got to do to get that out of there, because that's going to help you to feel mentally clear and have more physical energy. You've got a few good years of work, and I don't be discouraged by that. Just take that as reality and be strengthened. Oh, did it shut off at an hour?
It's an hour. Yeah.
1 hour?
Yeah.
Be strengthened and encouraged by that, and then the red button. So are there red numbers? You're recording the clip? Okay, cool. So be encouraged by that. When I say 3 years, 2 years best case scenario, you could be down and ripped. Bill Barlow, like 200 pounds in a year. That's super champion style. Like put your mind to it and go. You know? I don't know what type of person you are. I got knocked off. I'm a thin type. Our willpower is not always the best. So thinner types like me, we have to be more persistent, patient. Sometimes larger bone people, slower brains, they say, I'm going to go on a raw food diet now. And they just do it. Just stay with it. Me, I'm like, I'm going on a raw food diet. Wham! Oh, pizza! I'm going on a raw food diet. Boom! Eggs. I'm going on a raw food diet. Bam! Hit the wall. This is what I've done. You know what I'm saying? So, boom, boom, boom. You know, but 3 years to get cleaned up in a real way. 7 years to become a master and to affect your community in a positive way. And to live the life you deserve to live. Because you have the knowledge now inside of you. With the raw living foods and the high fiber, high water. And as you go through this stuff, strengthen your mind. Keep coming back. Don't judge yourself when you fall. When you get stressed out, eating some weird stuff or whatever. Keep going. Get back on it. And remember this. You give it an inch, it's going to want a mile. You're raw for 6 months. You say, oh, just eat some cooked whatever, some bread or some steamed something, some soup. Watch what happens the next day. You want to cook food again. I learned that with a lot of different things. Drugs, food. You give it an inch, one toke ends up being a blunt next week. You know? What I'm saying. Yes.
It's not official. At least we want to thank you. Thank you for everything, for your passion. I really love to hear you on DVDs and YouTube video. Your passion and everything is very good. So I'm very happy to try to the good way with the food and everything. And yeah, I just wanted to thank you. Thank you.
For coming.
Have a good Sunday. Keep going.
Peace.
Peace. Bye.
You're on my list of friends. I'm just going randomly so no one feel left out. If we don't get one. Just going by the intuition. Hi, Mary. What's the hat? Yeah, of course. Let's wrap this up. Any burning questions? Not true. No. Great for your metabolism because it's balancing to the thyroid and the adrenals. So the body regulates itself. Get enough sleep, get enough physical activity, and drink the juice, and just keep moving, and keep breathing, and keep tonifying every aspect of your being. Your food, your relationships, your exercise, your sleep, your water, you know, and just make sure that all the spokes on the wheel are strong and the wheel just rolls smooth. The metabolism thing with the whole juice thing, it's not true. Yes, sir.
I got a question about coming off the fast. Like, let's say that you fasting and juice for 30 days, maybe 60 days, maybe even longer. So going back to eating whole food, is there anything to like think about or watch out for? Or
Yeah,
that
go
transition?
slow. Go real slow. Have a plan. Like I'm going to eat oranges for my first meal, or I'm going to eat watermelon for my first meal, and then I'm going to stop. And then 2 or 3 hours later, if I'm hungry again, I'm going to have oranges or watermelon again. And go really, really slow. Any fool can fast, but only a wise man can break a fast properly. You have to be ready for the body's desire to eat everything in sight. I've done this with the water fasting, and I've gotten better over it over the years. Break a 7-day water fast, you're stuffing everything, and you just it messes up. You gotta keep flowing. You gotta create space between your eating. You know, and then the way you do that is by being fulfilled in yourself, so that food isn't such a, you know, it's a reward, it's a drug. I mean, it's like everything, and it's just, if you could get it to feed your life, if you could just eat to live. Like this juicing is really what it is. I juice, you know, 2 or 3 times a day, and then I just live. So I'm really living. I'm working on my relationship. I'm working on my business. I'm working on my house. I'm trying to get things organized, you know, and I'm also just trying to relax more and be free. I'm also trying to just say, dude, you are free. Like, I'm the freest guy. This is my job right here, you know, and I make videos of my life. So if I'm going to make a little salad, I just make a video, and that's it. Then I have links below my videos that drives traffic, and then I get paid while I sleep. And I have to accept the fact that somehow I earn this karma. And now I need to be free and go out there and show everyone how to be more free, so I can increase my karma and even probably make more money by traveling the world, making videos, just having more fun. I bet you the more fun I have with this YouTube thing, the more money I would make, the more viewers I would get. And for a while I've been a little bit sullen, you know. I was so like manic. Dan the man, so frenetic, you know. And then there was the domestication. And now we're going to find this nice spot in the middle. Dan with a home that he gets to go back to, and Action Jackson and Sophia, and the kids get to come and visit and have their own room. I got my music room. And I'm a membership at the gym down the street, you know. But also, like, time to pack up the truck and head out to the desert for a week or 2, or ride the kayak and go down the ocean coast and make videos of that. So I just need, tomorrow I'm leaving on another bike tour, just for a little while. But the channel needs it, I need it. I'm going to throw my juicer in the back of the bike and just go. And then I'll stop in motel rooms and I'll juice up every night, and I'll have 5 jars of juice on the back of my bike with ice. And I'll just go down the coast and because I just got my touring bike. And I jumped on it, and I was just like, oh my God, this is where I'm at the most, on that bike. And that's where I'm the most at home and free. And all my problems that just disappear as soon as I jump on the bike. The way the handlebars are, the way it's stretched out long and low, it's so steady and stable. It's like a horse. It's like a cowboy on his horse. He's like, I'm at home. You know, I got to get out of this cabin for a while. Ride. So that's what I'm hoping for in the future too. But the diversity of the videos, I hope, continues to, and then inspire whoever needs to be inspired by the adventures, or by the linear information, by the rants, or by the recipes, or just by the essence of this guy who's just doing his best to live free, to be happy, and share love. Like, love yourself. You can never get anything else. Screw the recipes. Just love yourself. And when I teach you, who do you think the main benefactor is? Me. Love yourself, because when I tell you something, eat this way, think this way, breathe this way, I do it. I'm not jerking a bunch of people's change just to make money. I say it to you, and the words are in my head. When I tell you, do this, be love, be kind to yourself, take it easy, have faith, I do that because I told you to do that. Period. So I'm the one who benefits. So I want to go even further and further and further into love and illumination and highest levels of consciousness, so that I can be there with that. Be the peace of yourself. And don't stop until you've found the peace that's already residing within you. And if you want to get into the melodrama of your story, and stay there for a lifetime, or 2, or 10, or 50, that's okay. But that peace with myself sounds like the juiciest, ripest, sweetest fruit that you could bite into. And if I can get over the ego's desire to be so dramatic, and so victim-y, and so, oh my God, I'm at the whims and the perils of the universe. It's so hard, but we can break through this, and we can make a great story out of it. Oh, you know, it's the saga of your life. It's like your own, you know, you are the star of your own show. So be that. Have fun with this. Make the movie, be the director, be the star of the show, and be the actor. But don't forget to live the peace. And get into the drama, but don't take your foot off the eternal. 1 foot in this world and 1 foot in the eternal. And don't get sucked over too far under the earth. And don't get sucked too far over into the eternal. Keep your feet firmly planted. 1 foot on God, 1 foot on the earth. And live and love and serve and work. And clean the toilet. And bake the potato. And have your heart broken. Keep your foot on earth. And have a broken heart. And then realize that every single other person is going to go through this. And then all of a sudden, you don't have to be such a dick all the time. Because you now know that this is not, it's not just you. It's every one of us. We're all going to hurt. We must commit to the alleviation of our own suffering. Because that's the only way we're going to be able to alleviate suffering in others. And when the compassion is within us, we know that we will release the pain and the fear so that we can, I do it for myself and for all of you. Because I want to see you happier. I want to see you closer to God. I want to see you more at peace with yourself. A little lighter, a little freer today than you were yesterday. See? It's all love. It's the love that makes me eat this way. It's the love that makes me teach this way. It's the love I committed to a long time ago, and it continues to do its work. And I will continue to be as authentic as I am able to muster up the courage to do so. But I have a feeling that I just reached this newer level of authenticity. I got nothing to lose. At first I thought, oh, I won't be able to pay my bills. They'll think I'm too weird. And now I'm like, dude, I am weird. And that is what people like about me. And I'm diverse. It's like you don't see the same thing. Sometimes I'm angry, sometimes I'm sad, sometimes I'm elated, sometimes it's a recipe, sometimes it's an adventure. But the other thing too is a dude got a camera. And all he does is live his life. And that's how he pays his bills. That ought to be worth something to somebody to give you faith. If you're an athlete or a bodybuilder or an artist or a musician, that if you have enough faith in yourself, enough courage to put yourself out there, the universe is going to roll the red carpet right out at your feet. You just got to have faith. You can't get stuck in the mind like, how am I going to make this work? You just got to follow your heart. And you'll be led, and you'll always be taken care of. I'm taken care of so much. I can be generous. I have people come, stay with us. I buy all the food. I don't think anything of it. So the food bill wouldn't double up. But I just, and then my mind is trying to go, whoa, you need to think about this. And then it's just like, no, be generous. And I realized that all through this period of generosity, and I was being so generous and with my ex-wife and with our friends staying with us and people on the street. And then all of a sudden it was like we had the sale of the new DVD, Blending Mastering. It was like the most expensive DVD I have, and it was the biggest sale we ever had. So that's like generosity is just, you can't figure out the mathematics of that. Be generous, the universe will be generous with you. be loving towards yourself, and the universe will be loving towards you back. It's so simple that we spend lifetimes overlooking this stuff. Hi, Angel.
Hi.
Working the butt off over there.
Seriously, I'm so tired and my back hurts.
She's going to be getting a massage soon. I know. She's not used to working.
Hey, don't tell them that.
That's okay.
Thank you guys for buying juice. Oh, I was just gonna see. I mean, I don't know if you guys want some lettuce, but we have tons of romaine left over, like a big bin if you want to come get some
You
romaine.
need lettuce.
So we can get some romaine.
Okay.
You almost done?
Yeah, I think so. Any other burning questions?
How many tomatoes do you have in your backyard?
A lot.
They're coming. I'm the worst tomato gardener. This is my